now.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Um, my name is Oluwatayo Alofun, um, and I think I'm meeting everybody for the first time. I'm seeing Adiola on the call on Sunday. Um, Abiodun and I met earlier today, so um, yeah, it would be kind of nice to get to meet each other briefly. So I'll just tell you briefly about myself. I just want to get a sense of who you are, what you do, because also I like this to be as practical as possible, and as relatable as possible to what you do. So like I said, my name is Oluwatayo Alofun. I've been involved with product analytics and marketing analytics for the better part of my career. I've been majorly in the market on the marketing side. I've spent about 10 years there. Um, and I, I think one of the description that I've come to adopt in recent time is the one given by my colleagues. Sometimes ago, one of my colleagues said, I think you are metrics obsessed. You just like to find explanation for everything. And I never thought of it until that time, but yeah, I guess I'm metrics obsessed. So a lot of the things that I do stem from that reality. I'm just very obsessed about what led to what, right? Um, I'm not so much of a luck person. Well, I like the idea of luck when it does not involve money, but when it involves money, I don't like the idea of luck. I want to be able to explain what happened that led to what and resulted in what. I want the process to be repeatable. And I want to be able to control it, right? So when money is involved, I don't want to leave anything to chance. And I think that's what the whole idea of product analytics and all of that is all about. So currently, I work with an agency, a marketing agency, where I coordinate performance marketing. I currently manage a portfolio of 12 different client accounts. Every time I say that, people ask me, how do you survive it? Well, if I tell you that, um, that would be like revealing my trade secret. So I'll keep that for now. But I manage a portfolio of 12 clients. Yeah, it gives me a lot of sleepless nights, but it's been fun. I like the adrenaline rush of the whole process. So that's what I do in a nutshell. Who wants to go next? Welcome, Momotola. My gut feeling is saying I should start from Adiola. Adiola, what do you do?
Oh boy, why are we starting? Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Adil, and I work in tech. I currently lead growth at a fintech startup, very early stage.
Okay.
Um, I'm a co-founder at this particular startup. It's called Middleman. We are an escrow payment platform. We started as an escrow payments platform, but now we are sort of like an ecosystem of tools that help e-commerce businesses trying. Yeah, so I pretty much joined this class to. I mean, I've always known that you cannot grow what you can't measure. So I pretty much joined this class to so that we can grow.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we'll come to Sunday. Sunday, what do you do? You are
Yeah, good
muted.
afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Sorry, I was muted. I
We
was
can hear you.
speaking.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akin Labi, and I work as a digital lead in one of the agency over here in Nigeria. That is Intense Digital. And
Oh, I know it says.
yeah, so it's one of the best performance and data driven digital transformation and growth agency, and focus primarily is on growth and how to use performance to drive impacts. I've
Mm.
been in that space for like 5 plus years, and as performance manager and growth, and I've been helping uh different brands create a campaign that can win the hearts, mind, and the wallets of their customers. So, and yeah, I think pretty much that is a uh little about me. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Yeah, Omotola, um, over to you. What what do you do?
Hi everyone, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, briefly about me. I currently lead operations and partnership in an edtech company. Also a product manager in a software development company.
Oh, great.
All right.
That's a big one. All right. Yeah, Chijioke, you're welcome. We're just getting introduced. So, if you could please tell us what do you do, um, just so we get familiar with you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
David.
yes,
I
we
don't
can hear you.
you can call me David. You can call me David. You can call me David. Whatever.
Oh, David. Okay. Yeah. So,
Yes,
what
and you
what
can
do
call
you
me David.
do, David?
Okay, so what I do?
Yeah. We can't exactly hear you.
I don't know if you hear me.
Uh, can you hear us? Oh, wow. Oh, I think she is having some network issues. Okay, so are we still expecting any more? Okay, we might just
Yes,
need to.
we're still expecting,
All right. So,
but we could start, I think.
yeah. All right. I will share my screen and we can get started. All right. Uh, I know you should be seeing my screen now, but I'm just going to confirm one more time. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Okay,
you
great.
can.
All right. So, today we are going to be doing introduction, basically. Um, Here's what we are looking to achieve pretty much. So we're going to be going into overview of uh, product analytics. We're going to be examining some um, scenarios just to get a sense. Usually when we talk about product analytics, I hear people say, "Oh yeah, we should measure it. It's great." Um, but I feel that um, um, people, even though people claim that, oh, it's a serious thing, we should be measuring everything and all of that, sometimes people don't know experientially how serious it is that measuring or not measuring can be, right? Theoretically, we claim to know it, but um, sometimes there are certain realities that just drive that home. So part of the things I want to be able to do in the course of this program at this introductory phase is to be able to, as much as possible, paint a picture of the danger of not embracing product analytics and the benefit of embracing it. I want to be able to paint that picture so clearly in your mind that it disrupts your sleep at night, right? That's the level of picture I am hoping that I can paint to you, all right? The level of benefit, so that you can go back to your firm, and for things that you don't have in place, you can be on their case until they get those things in place, basically. So we'll look at the overview of product analytics. Basically, we'll look into user experience, and then of course, because this class is going to be hands-on, it's going to be practical. I like practicals. Um, we are going to be using a platform called Pulse. For those that were at the orientation, I'm sure you already saw that. I'm not going to ask about the pre-class materials because something is telling me that most of you did not read those class materials. You are forgiven. All right. So we're going to be using a demo environment of an e-commerce platform that is already integrated with the tools that we're going to be going through in this class. And that takes me to the tools that we're going to be going through. We'll be looking into Hotjar and Microsoft Clarity. We'll be looking into Mixpanel, and we'll be looking into Google Analytics. There are tons of analytics products out there. We just want to focus on those four because they are in a way representative of what kind of analytics you should be getting. Now, the most important thing is that you know what the strategy should be in terms of your analytics, one, and two, what should you be capturing in terms of your analytics. Now, when that foundation is settled, it's easier for you to approach tools from that perspective. So I always say to people, don't approach the tool to solve the problem. Know the problem that you want to solve first, and then it's easier for you to know which tool is going to cut it and which one is not. All right. So we're going to do account and profile setup on Pulse, basically. And we are all going to buy something on Pulse. Don't worry, you're not going to pay, it's free of charge. But I want us to populate the data on Pulse. So one of the exercises we're going to do today is to also take a break at some point and populate the data on Pulse. And then, of course, today we are going to be looking more into the theoretical framework. Tomorrow is going to be very heavy on practicals. We'll look a bit into the framework for those practical, but tomorrow we are basically going to be venturing into some of those platforms and getting the general sense of overview of those platforms and all of that. I will be showing you some samples today as well. I mean, they probably will be from other businesses, But from tomorrow, we'll start getting our hands dirty a little bit, for want of a better word. So from an overview point of view, that's what we are hoping to cover in this sense. So I said I was going to start with this icebreaker. Okay, it's a not so icy situation. You are all probably familiar with Accenture. As Accenture is a very big global brand, global consulting brand. They are venturing into a lot of things in recent time. And it's not just them, it's almost all the consulting firm. Every one of them is creating their own marketing agencies and digital marketing agencies and brand agencies and all of that, right? But that's not the point. The point is a car rental company, Hertz, they contracted Accenture to actually build their website. And guess what? The car rental company sued Accenture for $32 million. Just right to, I don't know, just try to picture how much what $32 million mean. They sue Accenture for $32 million. And the reason why they were suing Accenture is because I put an extract of the newspaper clipping here. It said among the most mind-boggling allegations in Hertz filed complaint is that Accenture did incorporate a responsive design in which web pages automatically resize to accommodate visitor screen size, whether they are using a phone, a tablet, a desktop, or a laptop. Now, many years ago, the idea of a responsive website won't be a problem, right? Because people really don't care. But in recent time, and this was 2019, by the way, in recent time, what is beginning to happen is that there is a rise in analytics and the consciousness that people are looking at their data and they are saying, look, a lot of the people visiting my website are visiting from mobile, right? So I do not want to deliver the same experience for people who are viewing it on a web platform to people who are viewing on a mobile platform, right? The experience has to be different. It has to be tailored because the way they are viewing it, it's different, right? And the only reason why you are going to care that much, again, when you compare it to how much work is involved in getting that done, the only reason why you are going to care is because analytics is pointing in that direction. Sometimes these you drill down as far as browsers. How your website is rendering on an iOS browser, a Safari, how it is different from how it's rendering on a Chrome. All right. And sometimes you are going to be making a lot of decisions to say, do we want to design exclusively for a Chrome browser as opposed to a Safari browser? And the basis of that decision is to say, and I've been in conversation where we outrightly say, you know what, this is a glitch, but we're not going to fix it. All right. It's not because we don't care about the customer. It is just because by the time we look into the analytics and we look into the effort that will go into it. I'll give you the clear example. We looked at the product, it was working perfectly, desktop, mobile, tablet, everything was working perfectly. And then we saw a particular problem. That particular problem was peculiar only to what's the name of the browser? To Firefox, right? I think, yeah, Firefox, right? And we're like, okay, Safari is good, Chrome is good. People who are browsing using Firefox on mobile are the only place where we're having this problem. And then the next question is, how long is it going to take to fix this problem for that segment of people? All right. And when we look at how much time it's going to take, how much engineering time is going to take to fix that problem, and we look at the percentage, how many people exactly are browsing this website using this, it's infinitely small. Now, it's not that we don't care about them, we care about them, we do love them, but has any of them even make any conversion action in the past, historically? Let's look at it. So it's not only that they are small, they have contributed $0 to conversion in over 2 years. Looking at historical data, the question is really, who care whether this guy go or come, right? So at that point, we had to make a decision to say, okay, this is how much engineering time you want to invest into developing or fixing a feature on a particular browser that only a ridiculously low number of people are going to use. And in the last 2 years, this ridiculously low number of people have not carried out any conversion. So we are burning our time, which is technically burning our cash, to take care of people who historically are of no value, and what gives us the impression that they are going to be of any value going into the future. So we might as well park this by the side and fix it when we are ready. Now, I went through all of that to bring you back again to this scenario of these guys getting sued. And my point in all of this is that a bad product might be more expensive than you think, right? Um, you know, I don't know if what the outcome was about this case, whether Accenture won on, or lost. But the point is, somehow money, they are going to part with money. At the very worst, at the very least, rather, they would part with some money in terms of legal fee, just trying to argue all of that, and back and forth and all of that. That is if they don't even lose and have to pay, a ridiculous amount of penalty. But all of this could have been fixed if people just pay so much attention to what is data saying about this product, right? What is the user behavior saying? How many people do we have in what bucket and all of that? So I went through all of that to just give you that introduction that product analytics might be just more expensive than you think. And one of the things I noticed over time is that sometimes we don't know how expensive this can be. Excuse me. We don't know how expensive this can be because we are not tracking it anyway, so we don't know the difference. It's like someone who has cancer, but the cancer wasn't diagnosed. Now, it is not less of a problem because the person is not aware that he has cancer, right? The situation of the person is going to deteriorate, and one of these days is just going to lose his life, right? It is not any different. In any case, it's worse than person who was actually diagnosed. So who knows that there is a problem and it is a big problem, right? It's the same thing when I think about product analytics, and when people invest in product analytics and they know exactly what's going on with their product and they know what the problem is, and they could start making plans to fix it. All right. People who have not invested in product analytics, they don't know what the problem is, right? Things may be going on fine for them, but they don't even know what variable is making what do what. Things are going on fine, but why are things going on fine? We don't know. All right. The problem with that is that the day things stop going on fine, we don't even know what variable to go and control because we don't know why things were going on fine in the first place. So product analytics is a big deal. It can cost more than you think. Let me show you a typical scenario of something that actually happened. This is finish line. Finish Line is an American retail chain. They sell shoes basically, and they have quite a number of stores, over 660 stores at the moment, and they sell all manner of shoe line. Now, in 2012, Finish Line decided that it was time for some upgrade, right? They want to redesign their website. Um, and they decided to embark on this very massive scale redesigning project and all of that. And it was great. Now, what you have on your screen is what Finish Line look like today, okay? But I'm going to show you what happened when Finish Line decided to embark on this massive redesign. So what you have on, again, depending on, sometimes I used to confuse my right and my left. Yeah, what you have on your, sorry, I don't have my wristwatch on now. I'm really struggling. On your, this is left. Okay, on your right. Anyways, I already labeled it. That's going to solve the problem. It's the old website as at November 18, 2012, which was the day before they rolled out the new website. Okay. For some reason, they decided to embark on a radical shift from what this looked like, right, without any insight, right? And then they came to what you have on the right. This was their new website. This right here, this was their new website on November 19th, 2012. Now, when they rolled out this website, guess what happened? They started losing money. All right. Um, you know, the article says that they lost $3 million in sales when they rolled out the new website. And 17 days later, they could not take it anymore. They had to revert back to the old website. All right. And of course, the rest is history. But the point is, $3 million in $3 million loss in less than 17 days is a big deal for any company. It does not matter whether it is Tesla. $13 million loss in revenue is a huge deal. And all of that because of this rollout. A lot of this could have been prevented if there has been some user research, there has been some insight and analytics just feeding into all of this and guiding the process to say, look, this is how people would want it. If there is a UX measurement tool, that give them a guidance, this is where people are clicking. Why are people clicking that? This is, look at the video. Where are people having problem? What is this that people think should be engaged with that they are not engaging with? Or what is it that people are engaging with that when you were designing, you didn't think that people were going to engage with that? And I'm going to show you some live scenario, of this kind of thing in a bit. So basically, I'm taking my time to walk you through all of this, helping you to see how people are losing money because they don't pay attention to the analytics of their product. And the truth is, in the same way that people lose a lot of money by not paying attention to the analytics of their product, people make a lot of money by paying attention to the analytics of their product, right? It goes both ways. So the goal in this course is to try and see how we can be on the second side of the divide, right? Know what tools will help us to know what, know how to get what information from what tool, and know how to use that to inform the process of getting analytics to improve our bottom line as opposed to declining it. So, what is product analytics? I believe strongly, and this is just my way of thinking, that it's easier for me to define or to and one of the things about definition, which is, a lot of times I've taught in classes where people are like, no, let's just get straight to the point. We don't need to define. We know what it is. The problem with not defining, I think it's just generally that we don't like defining things as human beings. We like this broad, and that right there is the very first problem in analytics. Things should be definite, right? We should have a definition for things, all right? So I had a background in journalism, and at some point, I took a course in data journalism. It was taken by Bloomberg, and one of the things they were showing us is how Bloomberg does their journalism, and how it was radically different from journalistic practices in Nigeria back in the day. I mean, I didn't stay long in that field, but the one thing that was a big takeaway from that program for me was Bloomberg said, we don't use adjective. In writing our report, we don't use adjective. Now, what that means is Bloomberg is saying, we don't say that you are rich. Rich is relative. We define what it is that we are trying to say, right? So we don't say that a nation is poor or a person is poor. We try to define that, all right? Because that word is relative, right? So in other words, they don't just slam an adjective on people or things, right? They define it relative to something. So Dangote is rich, but so is Elon Musk. So what does it mean to be rich? And guess what? Somebody somewhere right now think I'm rich. Yeah, even though I don't know about that, man. So, but the point is, you are beginning to see. So, if my son asks me now whether I'm rich or not, I don't even know how to answer that question because it's relative. So, I say all of that to say that it is important that we define what exactly do we mean when we say product analytics. And the closest way to doing that is to understand what do we not mean when we say product analytics. If we can rule out everything that we don't mean, it is easier for us to grasp exactly what it is that we mean. All right. I like to believe that you are following so far. Okay. So there are a lot of things that and again, these are just general thoughts of things I've seen over time that people take product analytics to mean that, in my opinion, they are components, they are fragments of it, but that is not what this is all about. So, for number one, which is the big one, is that product analytics is not just about collecting data. All right. Data collection is a big part of what we are doing when we say we are doing product analytics. But it's not just about collecting data. In fact, I'm currently putting together a piece on at what point are you over collecting data. People don't think that is a possibility, but it is actually a possibility. There is such a thing as over collection. There is a time when what you are collecting is too much, right? It is a possibility that you can collect so much data and you will be drowning in data. Now, it's a process where there is so much data and you can't make sense of the data. It's just you are literally drowning in data. That's not exactly product analytics or any analytics for that matter. So it's not just about data collection. Data collection, though, is part of it, but it's not just about data collection. The second problem I always hear is product analytics is what some tech people do. Maybe data engineers, data analysts, data, and all the people that have data at the back of their name in our companies. If you work in a smaller company, it's easier to remove that barrier because in a smaller company, you are probably going to do a lot of things, but if you work in a bigger company, or one of the challenges you are most likely going to stumble into is to think that there is a set of people that this should be for. But in my opinion, I think everybody should, around a product, should be data analysts, should be interested in product analytics, from the marketing people to the product people, of course, which is a given for them, and to every other person that is making decisions across the organization or around that product. All right, it is something that everybody should be conscious about, and somebody has to own the process and make it available for every other person so that everybody would speak at the same frequency and everybody understand the same thing about the product, and we are all driving towards the same goal. All right. And I know there is a module within the course that is speaking to that in terms of your engagement with the engineer, which are the guys who are going to help you with the whole tracking of the event and all of that at deeper level, the engagement with stakeholders, people who are going to give approvals to develop a feature, to change something, and or to give you a go ahead to put money behind a particular feature or a particular initiative related to your product and all of that. How do you make that information available to everybody so that everybody can see with the same lens, and your work it's a lot more easier? I know there is a module in discuss about that. The other thing I need to mention is that it's not just about the numbers. The numbers are constantly telling us something. It's about what the number is telling us. The number is telling a story. The number is saying something. Now, it's looking beyond the number into what is the number saying, right? The number is great because the number helps us to make sense of where something is happening. But it's not just about the numbers. It is about what the number is saying. It's about the recommendation the number is making, but you cannot see it by just looking at the numbers. You have to, pay attention to the number so much so that it begins to, it tells a story to you. The number communicates the pains of your customer. The number tells you the frustration of your customer. The number tells you the smiles of your customer. The number tells you the indifference of your customer. The number tells you when your customer is feeling like, I'm in a relationship, I'm in an abusive relationship here. The number tells you when your customer is feeling neglected. The number tells you when your customer is already processing their divorce with you and they're already considering some other option. The number is telling you a lot of things, and you have to look beyond the number and look at the story that the number is telling you. All right. Again, that's where we're going to get into things like retention analysis, acquisition analysis, and cohort analysis, and different kind of analysis that you should be getting into to understand your product better and what is going on with your product. The final thing I need to mention, okay, two things more that I need to mention. It's not a one-time thing, right? It's not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process. This is another big mistake that I see people make a lot of times. They set up analytics, and that is all, right? Part of the things that analytics is going to show to you is that in the same way that I talked about such a thing as um, over collection of data, there is such a thing as under collection of data. And it could happen for any number of reasons. It could be that at the time, new features come on board and you need to track those ones too. It could be that at the time there was an oversight or something that was later going to be a big part of the conversion action process wasn't even something that you think has any major impact. It was probably something that was there by chance, right? And then as you begin to look at analytics, you see that this thing that was there by chance is a lot bigger than you think. All right. So it's looking into all of those things and saying, okay, what do we need to improve? Okay, now that we're improving it, how do we need to track it? So it's an ongoing process. The existing data or the available data will always point to something else that you should probably collect in order to be able to make more sense of the current data that you have. So it's not a one-time activity, it's an ongoing activity. The final thing I need to mention on that is that it doesn't solve all your problems. It doesn't solve all your problems. And I don't know how to emphasize that enough, especially because one thing doesn't solve your problem. As a matter of fact, product analytics isn't even supposed to solve your problem. All right, it's supposed to show you. I think of product analytics like the mirror in my house. If I stand before the mirror tells me the truth. Okay, the truth about myself. It tells me that there is a stain on my face. It tells me that my lip gloss, if I wear one, I don't, it's looking funny. It will tell me whether I comb my hair well or not. It would tell me something about myself, but it doesn't fix that problem. I don't walk away from that mirror looking okay from not looking okay simply because I looked at the mirror. The mirror tells me the truth, but I have a responsibility to take action based on what the mirror tells me in order to move from looking not so great to looking great, right? And if probably I was running late for an occasion, I'll probably pick and choose what I'm going to fix in that process. I'll probably look at a small stain somewhere in one corner and like, okay, yeah, I don't like this, but it's not so much of a big deal right now. It's not worth the time I will use to clean it and run late for this event, that kind of thing. So it does not solve all the problem. And in fact, it does not solve any problem on its own. However, it gives us insight into how the problem can be solved. So with all of this ruled out, so what exactly is product analytics? It's the art of using data to understand how user interacts with your product. Loosely speaking, it involves collecting data, but not just collecting data alone. Data on user actions, analyzing this information, and making informed decisions to enhance the product experience. All right. So now you see all the components coming together. So it's about collection of data, but that's not the only thing. All right. And what kind of data are you collecting? Right? You are collecting quite a number of data, but it's also about analyzing this information. All right, it's about analysis. It's also about using the product of this analysis to make informed decisions. And that decision is to be able to enhance the experience that people are having. Because the data is telling you the experience that people are having in the first place. And when you analyze it, you can then make informed decision about how you want to improve the experience. Sometimes you really want to, right? You really want to improve the experience of these people. But technically, there's just a lot of things getting in the way, right? Sometimes you have resource constraints, you have skill set constraints, you have a lot of constraints, approval constraints, cost, in some cases, and all of that. So you are working in between all of these to then make a decision on what is important, what is least important, and what is not important. So, what kind of data do we collect? Okay, and this is where I'm going to do a little bit of moving in between my screen and away from my screen, because I would I like to show this practically. Sorry, I kind of also feel I've been talking for a while, but I I I like something to be visual. So there are four things we want to look into here, kind of data that you collect. So user behavior, and you use this to make data-driven decision, and you use that to improve the performance, and you then optimize growth. So I want to show all of that practically. All right. So the first one is it helps us to understand user behavior and how users interact with our product, and identify their common pathways and look at areas of friction. All right. Now, before we get deep into explaining that, I want to show you something. So I'm going to reduce this for a bit. Let me know if you can still see my screen. Can you still
You
see
can
my
see your
screen?
screen.
Okay,
We can see your screen.
I'm showing a website now. Can you see that website?
Oh no, we're not
Not
seeing a
yet.
website. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I think I need to work on my sharing.
Yeah, you need to share your window or the entire screen.
Okay, yeah, I was actually sharing my window. 1 minute. Oh, there we go. So I'm sharing screen two. Okay, now you should see the website.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, and I'm going to, okay, so I have tried to simulate the mobile version of that website. So this is what the mobile version looks like. All right. Can you see the mobile version?
Yes.
Then, yeah, okay. All right. So now here's what I want us to do. We will look through this website first, and I'm going to ask you questions. How do you think that people should engage with this website? Okay. And then we are going to go on to look at how people are engaging with this website. Okay. And that is going to help us really drive home the idea of how analytics actually help you to understand your user behavior. And that sometimes we make a lot of assumptions about how people should think that is at very big variance with how people actually think. And sometimes when you see those patterns, you'll be like, people are just, they're just not. Why? But yeah, that's the whole idea. But guess what? It doesn't matter whether they think like that or they don't think like that. You want to make money, you have to follow them and go and think like that. All right. So let's look at this website. So I'm just going to scroll around and I need you to just follow around. So this is a website for a company that sells door in North America. So just look at it. This is a website. So at this point, you know, we expect them to say, okay, we want to customize our door, or we want them to um, get a quote or something like that, to request for a quote. Um, and then if they are not convinced yet, they want to read more information, they can see some of the reasons why they are better than competition. They can see some sample of the work here at the bottom. I'm not sure anybody wants to waste their time coming this far anyway, but it's okay. So, but you can see more information and all of that, you know. And then we have our call to action at different points. If you make up your mind after reading the information, all of these, just scrolling down like that. We even give some statistics, of how this product is going to perform and is going to blow their mind, that kind of thing. Scroll down and all of that. Then we have the lead form here, which is really what we want them to feel, want to capture that information so that we can send them a quote and then we can begin business with them. And it was impressive because we really put this video at the background, so that you can see real time how, the kind of door we want to sell to you is functioning in real time. You can see that this is great, and all of that. All the proof you need, you see it just by just arriving at the website. Anyways, and the same is true for the mobile version as well. So scroll down, you see all of those things. And this is, anyways, so when we talk about responsiveness, right? You see how the web one look like, how the call to actions were positioned, how it's different from the way it is positioned on the mobile version. Um, almost everything is the mobile version is literally designed differently from the web version. So, just going through this again, but you can see that all the components, everything that was supposed to be in the web was actually the mobile. The arrangement a bit different and all of that, but we have everything here. So the question is, if you were trying to buy a door online and you come to this website, how will you engage with it? So we want to have that conversation for a little bit, and then we go into how people are actually engaging with it, and then we'll come back to our conversation. I want to bring this to a different screen so that I can be seeing you, everybody, like the class to be engaging. Okay, so yeah, let's get back to where. All right, so now I will start with the said ladies first. So I'm going to start with lady first. I'm going to start with Omotola. So Omotola, what? Just give me the first 3 or 4 things that you are going to click if you are trying to buy a door and you land on this website. The first, if you just experiencing the website like this, what jumps at you? What are the first one in order of priority, 1, 2, 3, that you are going to engage with?
I want to see the custom solution first. What
Okay,
it
you
is
want to
that
see
they
the
have
custom.
in custom
Okay,
solution. Before I even
sorry,
know
we are
what they've done in the past, I want to see what they have.
okay. So 1 minute. I'm just going to try to take a record here. So we'll take everybody's responses. It's an analysis class. So let's start with Omotola. Omotola's number 1 is what?
Custom solutions.
Custom solution.
I believe that custom solution is it's showing us price or just showing us different custom solutions, right?
No,
Like
wait.
different doors or different services or whatever.
So by custom solution, you mean this one at the top, right?
Yes, this one at the top.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, custom solution.
So the reason why I selected custom solution first is because I want to know the different packages of what they have first.
The different package. So when you saw that custom solution, what came to your mind was
what came to my mind
this
is different whether services or products that they have. That's
packages.
what said to me.
Wow, interesting. Okay. So I'm
So
noting that.
once I'm done with that, then I'll come back to the home page and I'll read a bit further. But that's the first thing that interests me, custom solution.
Okay.
When I'm done
So
with that,
you will now scroll down, right?
go down just to read a little bit more about the company and what the company offers.
Okay, so you scroll down like this. Okay. Let me know if at any point you
So at this point, I'm trying to understand why should I go for that.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's more like
And
why Findo. So I'm trying to read more about them. What makes them different from their competitor at that point. Now after that,
so what are you likely to interact with or click at this point?
so once I finish reading through, right?
Yes. So you read through everything.
I will scan through. Yes, I'll scan
You
through.
scan through. Okay, great.
So once I'm done with this, then I will go to at the header, exactly.
Yes.
Where we said
yes.
Customize your Findo. I would want to try that out before I even
you want to try this out. Customize Findo.
See what it looks like. After that, I can now click on get in touch.
Okay, then your 3 will be get in touch.
That's the 4th one.
Oh, which one is it? Second one?
The second one is coming back to the home page to scan through.
Okay, so after the first one is custom solution, the second one is scanning through,
home page,
then the third one is customized. Okay, and then the fourth one is get in touch. Okay, great. Thank you. So who wants to go next? Has to be a guy. Adiola and Sunday do the meeting, and Akinlabi do the meeting. Who wants to go? Okay, Adiola, we have you.
Okay. Well, so when I land on this website, I would So I think it depends on my intent, right? And how much I've known this brand for, and like what I want, like my like how much knowledge I have about them. But if this is my first time landing on this website, I think I would first just like I think I'll first quickly look through I'll first scroll and look at the pictures and just pretty much do like a very brief scan to just to get more familiar. I don't think I don't think I'll click anything immediately I land on it for the first time ever.
Okay.
But let's say after like getting a feel of what the brand is about, and because these pictures are moving, I think it will catch my attention, and I'll spend some time perhaps looking at the picture. I'll probably try to scroll this picture
True.
and to scroll through or make it move a little bit faster, so that I can really
So
understand
something like
what.
this.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I think
Okay.
I would do that.
So what I'm
Yeah.
hearing you, number one is you just scroll and then you engage with pictures.
Pictures, yes.
Okay. All right.
I
So
mean,
now we're done with pictures.
I'm trying to buy a door, so I would like to see the different doors that they've done in the past. So I think the
Okay.
pictures would be very interesting to me. Yes.
Okay.
Then I think I would click these drop downs to read more details. This low maintenance.
This ones. Okay.
Yes. I would click those. Yeah, I would click those. What else? Please continue scrolling. Let's see if there's anything else I'll catch my attention.
Okay. All right. And then we keep scrolling.
Yes. Okay. I think these numbers will catch my attention. I mean, I'm not actually going to
The
click on anything,
numbers.
but the 40,
Okay.
yeah, the numbers will catch my attention. 40%
Okay.
greater insulation and small space. I think these are the different things that would convince me.
Okay.
Okay, let's keep scrolling.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.